Fundamentals of Chinese 4, Unit 8, Sports, Watching American Football, Grammar, it. Turn to pages 241, 244 to 244 in your textbook and have a pen or pencil ready to take notes. Okay, the first grammar point for this lesson is way of expressing duration of actions. Okay, so you saw in the dialogue that Wang Hong watches 2 hours of television every day. So you have an activity, watching TV, and you have a verb and an object. You have watching, which is the verb, and you have TV, which is the object. And then you have the duration of time, 2 hours every day. Okay, so in English we say she watches 2 hours of TV every day. He studies Chinese for 2 hours every day. He plays golf for 3 hours, every Wednesday. Okay, so you have this duration of time of a particular activity: watching TV, studying Chinese, playing golf. Okay, you can't express these by translating directly from English. It won't make sense and it won't be grammatically correct. So here, when a sentence contains both a time expression that indicates the duration of an action and an object, it needs to be formed in one of these two patterns. So you have the duration of an action, so the action is watching, okay, and an object, TV, so you're watching TV for 2 hours. So there are the three elements: an action, an object, and a duration. Okay, so when all these elements are present, and this is what you want to express, there are two ways of doing it. The first way is repetition of the verb, and the second way is a time expression placed before the object, okay, with the use of the. Alright, so this will become clear as we look at these examples. So the first example, we have 他每天听录音听1个小时. Okay, so this is the repetition of the verb. Okay, you have 听, which is listen. Okay, you have 录音, which is the recording, so listen to a recording. Okay, and then the verb gets repeated. So this is the first way of expressing a duration of an action with an object. You repeat the verb. So here's the verb, but it's repeated again. Okay, so literally we have she every day listens to recordings, listens 1 hour. Okay, she every day listens to a recording, listens 1 hour. So that verb listen gets repeated. 他每天听录音听1个小时. Okay. Then we have the second way. Remember the second way is you have a time expression that comes before the object. Okay, so in this case you have the action, which is watch, and then you have the object, which is TV, and the time expression will come before the object, TV. So she watches 2 hours TV. Okay, or she every day watches 2 hours TV, and then you use the, okay, to help. So let's take a look at that. Okay, 他每天听1个小时的录音. Okay, so she every day listens 1 hour, and then the recording. Okay, 他每天听1个小时的录音. Okay, so let's see that again with another example. Okay, so remember the first way is to repeat the verb. So here's the verb the first time, here's the verb being repeated the second time. So 他每天下午游泳有40分钟. Okay, she every day in the afternoon swims 40 minutes. Okay. 她每天下午游泳游40分钟. Okay, and notice the verb for swim is 游泳, but in this construction the 泳 gets cut off when you repeat the verb. When you repeat the verb, you only repeat the first character. All right, let's take a look at the other way where the duration of time comes before the object. So remember, the object is, in this case, 泳. Okay, so 她每天下午游40分钟的泳. Okay, so 游泳 is a verb, but it's a separatable verb. It's like a verb-object combo. So when you're going to use this way of expressing it, you separate it out. So this is the verb, this is the object, and the time element is in between. With 的 她每天下午游40分钟的泳. All right, let's take a look at another example. 她每天看英文报纸看2个小时，所以英文越来越好了. Okay, so here we have she every day reads English newspaper, and then the verb gets repeated, read 2 hours. So English, or her English, is getting better and better. 越来越好. Right? 她每天看英文报纸看2个小时，所以英文越来越好了. Right? Second way of doing that is by putting the time element before 报纸. The object is 报纸, right? 看英文报纸. The full object would be 英文报纸. So we have 她每天看, and then the time element 2个小时的英文报纸. 所以英文越来越好了. Right? She reads English newspapers for 2 hours every day, so her English is getting better and better. Alright, next we saw the particle 这, and you saw the particle 这 being used when there's 2 verbs that appear together, 2 actions, one taking place while another action is taking place. Okay, in the dialogue it was running while holding on to the ball. Okay, and you remember Wang Hong was confused because in soccer you can't hold on to the ball and run with it, but in American football you can hold on to the ball and run with it. So holding on to and running, these are 2 verbs. One is happening while the other one is happening, and so 这 is used. So 这 signifies the continuation of an action or state. Okay, its function is descriptive. When 这 is used between 2 verbs, the one that precedes 这 signifies the accompanying action, while the second verb signifies the main action. So running, in our dialogue, running was the main action, and holding on to the ball was the accompanying action. Okay, 抱着球跑. So let's take a look at the example here. 老师站着教课，学生坐着听课. Okay, so while the teacher stood lecturing, the students sat listening. So here you have the 2 verbs. The teacher is standing and lecturing. 站 means to stand. 教课 means lecture. And then you have 这. Okay, 站着教课. While the teacher stood lecturing, the students sat listening. If you just had this sentence right here without this back part, you could have the teacher lectured while standing, as opposed to the teacher lectured while sitting. Okay. And then you just have another example really at the other end of this sentence. The students sat while listening. 学生坐着听课. Alright, let's take a look at another example. 我喜欢躺着听音乐. Alright, 躺 means to lay down, and 听音乐 is listen to music. So I like to listen to music while lying down. 我喜欢躺着听音乐. Okay? In American football, you can run with the ball in your hands. 美式足球可以泡着球. Sorry. 美式足球可以抱着球跑. Okay. Now look at this. 这 is normally used after a verb to indicate a continuing action or a state. 在 is normally used before a verb to indicate an ongoing action. Okay. So let's look at the difference between these. Okay. So you know about the use of 在, and it's very similar to what someone is doing currently. I'm working right now. He is sleeping right now. I'm eating dinner right now. Okay? So we don't say I eat dinner right now. In English we say I am eating dinner right now. So we use this ing on the end of the verb, eating. Alright? I am eating. Okay? This is different than if I say I eat, or I am eating. So you see how the am and then the ing on the end of eat changes the meaning of this sentence in English. So in Chinese, to express that something is happening right now, okay, 在 is used. And the reason why they're pointing this out is because they want you to understand the difference between 在 and 这. Okay? So, 学生们在做什么呢? What are the students doing? 在做, okay? 在运动, they're exercising. 在运动, 运动 is exercise. 在运动, they are exercising. So 在, alright, in number 4 above cannot be replaced with 这. Likewise, 这 in the earlier sentences cannot be replaced with 在either. So be sure, probably the easiest way to understand this presently is to just focus on what's being taught here. So what's being taught here is you have two actions happening together: running while holding on to the ball, swimming while holding your breath, riding a bike while listening to music. Okay, you have two actions happening. One is happening during another action. Okay, that's 这. Okay, I am talking right now. I'm just simply telling you what I'm doing right now. I'm talking right now. And so that's 在. Hopefully the difference between those two is clear. Okay, next we have the passive voice. So, understanding the passive voice in Chinese, you really need to understand the passive voice in English. Okay, you can see a quick example right here. My homework was eaten by my dog. Okay, now why is this the passive voice? Because the normal active voice, the normal way of saying something, the proper way of saying something was, my dog ate my homework. That's a straightforward basic sentence. My dog ate my homework. My dog is the subject, ate is the verb, my homework is the object. Okay, now in some cases you want the object of a sentence to be the most important thing in the sentence. Okay, so normally in an English sentence, the most important thing in the sentence is the subject. My dog ate my homework. Okay, but what if you want to emphasize the homework and you don't want to emphasize the dog? The dog is not the focus here. The homework is the focus. This is where you use the passive voice. That way you can move homework up to the front of the sentence and it becomes the most important part of the sentence. My homework. And then in order to complete the sentence, you need to use the passive voice. My homework was eaten by my dog. So in the original sentence we had my dog ate my homework. And in the passive voice, these two are switched, and then ate is changed into was eaten by. Okay? So that's a very quick and dirty explanation of what the passive voice is doing. Now, to do the same thing in Chinese, you can use these three characters to do that. You can use bei, and bei is the most common. You can use bei, or jiao, or rang. Okay? And so let's take a look at it. Just like in English, my homework was eaten by my dog. Okay, in Chinese we say 我的功课, my homework. 狗吃了, dog ate. Right? My homework, look at the black characters here. My homework, dog ate. Okay, and you have 被, 叫, or 让 here to serve the function of the passive voice. So 我的功课被狗吃了。我的功课被狗吃了。My homework was eaten by my dog. Let's take a look at another example. Okay, let's take a look at the English first. The books that you bought me were taken away by your girlfriend. Okay, so the proper straightforward sentence was your girlfriend took away the books you bought me. Okay, and in this sentence the subject is your girlfriend. Your girlfriend took away the books that you bought me. Okay, but now we want to not make the girlfriend the topic of the sentence. We want to make the books the topic of the sentence. Okay, and therefore you move books to the front, the books. You move girlfriend to the back, and you change your girlfriend took. You take the took and you change it to were taken away by. So you take took away and replace it with were taken away by. So the books that you bought were taken away by your girlfriend. Okay, so 你买的那些书, right? You bought those books, the books that you bought, right? So the books that were bought by you. 被, the passive voice, 被你的女朋友, right? Your girlfriend 拿去了. Okay, taken away. So the books you bought were or by your girlfriend taken away. Okay, and you can pause and look at this sentence more carefully and take the time you need to sort it out. But we have 你买的那些书被你的女朋友拿去了. Okay. Here's another example. Oh gosh, your tennis racket was crushed. Okay, and then in the passive voice you can get rid of who did it, because who did it isn't always important, right? Who did it is not always important. Who did it is that's why we use the passive voice, because the person who did it isn't important. It's what was done that's important, and in this case what was done was crushed, right? Oh gosh, your tennis racket was crushed. Okay, it could have been crushed by anybody. That's not the point. The point is that it was crushed, and so the passive voice is used. 糟糕，你的 网球拍被我压坏了. Okay, and let me just interject here one easy way, and this may oversimplify it a little bit, but it may help. An easy way to understand why we have a passive voice, what functions it's playing, is imagine that you were writing an essay about electricity. So the focus of the essay is electricity. The title of your essay is all about electricity. So what's important in this essay is electricity. So therefore, if you were going to write a sentence about, or better yet, let's say the light bulb, all right? You're writing an essay about the light bulb. Okay, so you would say in your essay about the light bulb, you would say the light bulb was invented by Thomas Edison. Okay, this is not an essay about Thomas Edison. People are not reading this essay to learn about Thomas Edison. They're reading this essay to learn about the light bulb. So your sentence would say the light bulb was invented by Thomas Edison. Okay, but if you were writing an essay about Thomas Edison, okay, then Thomas Edison becomes the focus, not the light bulb. Then in your essay you would have Thomas Edison did this, Thomas Edison did that, and Thomas Edison invented the light bulb. Okay, so in an essay about Thomas Edison, you'd use the active voice and say Thomas Edison invented the light bulb. In an essay about the light bulb, you would use the passive voice and say the light bulb was invented by Thomas Edison. So when do you use the active voice or the passive voice? It depends on what you want to emphasize. Do you want to emphasize the light bulb, or do you want to emphasize Thomas Edison? And that tells you how to use it. Alright, so let's take a look here. In the last example, take a look. My pears were crushed by your watermelon. Okay? 你看，我的梨被你的西瓜压坏了。Okay, here's something to point out. In Chinese, the passive voice is not used as often as it is in English. And it's also used a lot in negative connotations. Okay, and like the ba sentence structure that you saw in lesson 13, the verb is usually followed by another element, such as a complement like le, as you can see in the example here, like le here and le here. Okay, also the passive voice, the agent of the action does not always have to be specified. So if Julie crushed my watermelon, then my watermelon was crushed. There's no need for me to mention Julie. It's not important. My watermelon was crushed by Julie. Okay, if the key thing is my watermelon, oh my god, the watermelon, it's about the watermelon, then my watermelon was crushed. Who crushed it? The agent doesn't matter. If we're thinking about firing Julie, well then the agent is important. And so we want to say Julie crushed the watermelon, not the watermelon was crushed by Julie. Okay, if you want to mention the agent, but the agent doesn't need to be identified, then you can just use 人 to mean someone or people. Okay, for example, my credit card was taken away. 我的信用卡, right? My credit card. 我的信用卡被人拿走了. Okay. All right. Look here. With 被, the agent of the action can be omitted from the sentence. Okay. So, 同学们在教室里又唱又跳，他快被吵死了. Okay, so his classmates are singing and dancing in the classroom. The noise is driving him to distraction. Okay, so 他快被吵死了. Okay, so he is about to be noised or distracted, or noised to death, or distracted to death. Okay. Okay. Bay can also be used in a positive sense, but it will not be discussed here. And that concludes this grammar lesson.